And we'll see which one goes where, but you're kind of expecting those champs to come up pretty quickly. And C9, first of all, would rather pick Sejuani.
Yeah, and that's not only a strong pick for Svenskeren, since he's been around in the pro scene so long and has played a lot of Sejuani, only one Sejuani game this split, but it's a big denial pick from Amazing, who's picked up 2 wins in 4 games on Sejuani.
It's a better record than they have normally, so gotta be a positive one there. Goes to his second most played jungler. Instead going to go on a Jarvan there, making it his 4th. Now ties to Sejuani all time in the summer split. I'm still looking for the Azir. If they're going to play, the standard high priority meta champions, you're expecting an early Azir, you're expecting Lux here at some point as well, and seeming they want to get their 3rd pick as a counter pick. There's no contest in the Jarvan. They were going to get that whenever they wanted, as long as they, did it for the ban phase, but wanted that right away, and they're going to wait, and they're going to pivot on the next pick.
Yeah, I can understand why they're just kind of picking the high presence champion so far. This will be Aphromoo's first Lux game of the split. 100 Thieves had been fairly reliant on just going for Xayah Rakan whenever possible, since when 100 Thieves does find success, it's often through Aphromoo making strong engages, and part of how they bounce back is with strong laning phases between Bang and Aphromoo. So that sneaky Xayah ban right at the start actually has a large impact on the way this entire game will play out. And
of course, with the early Sejuani pick, you're expecting Irelia to be one of the most common picks alongside. So that's also part of why Ryu doesn't fly in the Azir. He's like, is it going to be Irelia for sure? Okay, is there a counter pick I want? And we'll probably see the mid lane answer right afterwards. 5 seconds to go. Cloud9 need another champion. It could be a support, could be bot lane, could be top lane. It's actually going to be the bot lane. There's Kaisa in. It's going to add a little bit of magic damage to the roster, as Irelia, obviously, entirely physical.
Yeah, and I think C9 is completely set up to play the way they want to play. It's possible to move the Irelia mid lane if they want to be able to counterpick either one of those lanes. Sejuani works incredibly well with melee laners, particularly Irelia, as you mentioned. That's why they combo so well together. And the whole top side of the map for C9 is so aggressive and so good early game. I'm actually maybe even expecting them to try and ban out maybe a Corki and Azir in the second phase to force more of a volatile matchup in the mid lane so that Svenskeren can really control the tempo early.
Well, sure. Also want to point out that some of the other pristine mid lane picks have been left up. Qiyana actually has escaped through the first 6 bans and 6 picks with no one picking her up either.
True.
Has been a high priority champion. Hey. There it is. Yep. Has not escaped the 7th ban, though, and she's off the table in case they wanted to run double assassin. And again, worth pointing out that with Kaisa being a decent magic damage dealer, you can run double AD solo laners. Sejuani's a physical damage jungler. It really would make composition sense in that regard. We know it's Sivir Lux in the bottom lane, almost for certain. I'm not expecting Lux to go on to Ryu. And there's the Azir ban, so there's Corki and Azir both off.
Yeah, we'll absolutely see as what type of solo lane Nisqy gets to pick later, but I want to kind of call attention to the Lux and the Sivir, because even though those are very powerful team fighting champions, they are not necessarily known for getting advantages in the early laning phase. And looking through 100 Thieves stats, Ryu and FakeGod are mostly just there to stick around until the team fight phase, with some of the worst gold stats at 15 in the entire LCS. So 100 Thieves will need to play a little bit stronger in both the top and mid lane positions, since that's not normally where they can get their advantages. So far, just based on the tendencies of the teams, I really like C9's draft.
All right, well, now it's time for something to get blinded here on the 100 Thieves side. They know that Irelia is still flexible. Both Licorice and Nisqy have played this champion once. This split works pretty well in either lane, so it is something that 100 Thieves have to keep in mind. I would be surprised to see them pick Ryu's champion. I think top lane is almost more sacrificable. FakeGod's kind of one who kind of takes the L for the team and survives as best he can in bad situations up against the league's arguably best top laner in Licorice, and he quasi-blinds the Aatrox.
Yeah, and I'm just going to say that Aatrox is going top, and that's what C9 will be drafting around now. Kennen would not be too surprising to throw up top lane against the Aatrox if that's what Licorice really wanted to do.
Now 7 seconds to go until they lock this one in for sure. I think Kennen would definitely make sense. Adds even more magic damage to the roster, which can be nice to see, and that will certainly be lane dominant for Licorice. And now we know that Irelia is going to go mid for Nisqy here. Braum's going to round out the bottom lane. I like him a lot into Sivir. You block the Boomerang Blade, you block Ricochet from going any further. Pretty good at not dying, and even then, like, Lux Sivir is not crazy. Rest they will push, but they will not probably kill a Braum Kaisa.
Yeah, now it's about what will Ryu pick in the mid lane. Guessing that he's going up against Irelia, it's very rare that you would see Kennen. So far, he's mainly played those control mages, right? 3 Corki games, an Azir game, 2 Victor games. None of those things are available What is available, though?
Lissandra.
Huh.
Lissandra comes in to, I'm assuming, partially neutralize lane, unless they're moving Aatrox around and like putting Lissandra top lane. We've seen that way back in the day as well, but I'm pretty sure this is the lineup, so
yeah.
This will help nullify somewhat. One thing that is interesting to me is these teams have, I think, very diametrically opposed strengths. C9 have absurdly strong numbers, top, jungle, mid. That's where they're getting a lot of their benefits. And their bottom lane has been doing very poorly in early laning. 100 Thieves are all about winning through bottom lane.
Yeah.
FakeGod just holding up the rest of his team can carry. And so I feel like these teams can easily attack each other's weaknesses.
Yeah, I'm very much expecting C9 to try and run over the top and mid side of the map. The bottom lane is the very interesting part and why it is, I think, a little bit of a stylistic mismatch between these two teams because 100 Thieves doesn't...
But we are now on this game between Cloud9 and 100 Thieves. Onto the rift we are. And let's see what we can do. C9 in second, 100 Thieves just a game out of playoffs with only 6 games left to play, with ground to make up, and a tough opponent for them today.
Yeah, can't wait to see where the attention is spent early on in this game. How well can FakeGod hold up against Licorice? I know before we got the roster submissions, we were wondering whether or not FakeGod was going to be going up against Kumo, and would we have the battle of the rookies, and how is it going to work because C9 plays so well around Kumo, and can he actually take down FakeGod? Now, we have to see how rusty Licorice is going to be because he really did take time off to rest. He played one Academy game to make sure he was not rusty, played Aatrox 1 with C9 Academy. Now Licorice gets to go up against an Aatrox in FakeGod.
And as we watch that matchup, we're going to hear from Avli, who is talking with Brawly.
Thanks, guys. Brawly, super tough opponent in Cloud9 today. What was the main focus for this week's preparation, and how confident is the team coming into the match?
This week, a big part was like kind of growing our champion pools. I think C9 is a tough opponent, specifically because they have really big pools. So that was kind of a big message that we were trying to push across this week. So we're playing a couple of new champions this weekend, so I'm kind of excited about that.
Like the Lissandra?
Like Lissandra, maybe? Yeah.
Like the Lissandra. Well, best of luck to you and the team, and thank you. Back to you guys.
Of course, Diana Maven, one of the other ones as well, and we never get to see it because Cloud9 scumbags banded away.
Yeah, and Lux. Even though it's not necessarily new to the LCS, it's from the 100 Thieves.
Sure.
So 2 first-time picks in game 13 of the split for 100 Thieves.
And Licorice is rich. He has 5 gold and a minor health potion. He's stacking up. Look at this. Insurmountable laning lead.
Yeah, I mean, the Kleptomancy Kennen, sometimes you'll see phase rush in the top lane, sometimes you'll see Kleptomancy, depending on how comfortable someone feels in the matchup. Knowing it's a melee versus ranged, although sometimes you can accuse Aatrox of being a fake melee, since he gets to dash so much and has so much reach on his Q spam. Still, you can see Licorice dodging out of the Q right there with his E, able to get a lot of good early harass in and a few Klepto procs.
Playing very aggressively, of course, has an early Trinket Ward in that top lane Tribe Rush up there, so we can track most of what would be Amazing's jungle routes. Amazing at right now anyway on the other side of the map as we watch the bot lane fight. After we're not going to land that bind. Level 2 to level 1, always a big power spike. 100 Thieves get a little bit of damage out of it. No punish on the back half and have a health bar lead down there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily expect 100 Thieves to get kills in this lane, but I do expect them to fairly easily achieve lane priority against Braum, Kaisa. The shield there you can see from Lux, this is why she's so meta. 50 on the first cast, 100 on the return with a long duration. So almost impossible for C9 to get a meaningful trade back as long as Aphromoo is using that cooldown appropriately. Yeah, they're just going to continue to try and shove in, harass Nisqy while he tries to get CS on the turret, and maybe build up a bit of an early advantage.
They're going to have to build up some gold in this Lux as well. Aphromoo should be able to pretty much free fire and get 11 gold every time that cooldown is back. Licorice really, really pushing in FakeGod, and an undisturbed lane right now as junglers just kind of taking their camps right down. It's double CS with Kleptomancy, almost triggered on cooldown at this point. Licorice getting a lot done over here.
Yeah, and look at this mini-map right now already, where you have so much pressure in the top lane. The top Scuttle Crab taken down. Licorice already pushing in the top lane. Meanwhile, the bottom lane, half the first plate gone, recalling already at level 3. This is textbook C9. They play so much just tilted towards the top side of the map.
Yep, it's going to be rough stuff, but they're going to do their very best as the first recalls come through. Sneaky already burned through his potion, grabs a cold, grabs refillable, has his first biscuit, and he's choosing to walk. Has 700 TP, but says the lane's in a close enough spot that he can walk back and lick his wounds, and down 7 CS, can try to turn them back around. Top lane up 11 right now. Nisqy with the one slight gank, forcing an E out of Ryu. Not getting any gains just yet, but Might see that bear fruit later on.
Yeah, 27 CS to 13. I wish there was a counter to see how much Kleptomancy gold he'd actually grabbed so far in this game, but if we...
Actually, I can get you one.
now, the actual Klepto gold?
I can. 180 Klepto Gold. Spectator Updates actually has real rune information.
It's been a long
Spectator.
time since I've checked the Spectator.
Spectator got a lot better since you left, Jatt.
Sweet.
Yep.
That's right.
Welcome back, Jatt. I agree. Update was like a month and a half ago. It like barely came in.
And you've already learned how to use it.
Oh yeah. Oh, I love the new rune UI. It's great. As bot lane is still only down about 9 CS, treading water down here. Again, an advantageous matchup for the 100 Thieves side, and at a certain point, it's a little bit par for the course. Overall, though, gold lead, C9 as they're winning most of their lanes. Junglers pretty close to equal here as well. Actually, even both taking Krugs.
Yeah. By the way,
Yeah.
I'll talk about Krug experience after Svenskeren does or does not gank in this bottom lane, because he is not spotted by the wards yet if Zeyzal lands a good Q. Although it's so hard to gank a Sivir because of the spell shield.
Yeah.
Is
The
that
Q is
spot
very
there?
telegraphed.
Oh,
Oh,
there
that's
you go.
smart. Smart by Aphro. Tosses the Lucent Singularity out, gives vision. Saw the Sejuani leave. And yeah, they're actually pretty sure it's up there by the blue up. So now, who can push over first? Blue lane's
Svenskeren's on
coming
a
in.
good spot.
Aphro's first. Not gonna the flash blind. That was beautiful. They have a lot of damage to the shield there as well. The flash, the dodge. And Svenskeren is out of there. The fight continues, though. It's amazing as low. He's got no flash. They're gonna find the damage. He's trying to get away. Oh, he does have flash to take it back. He walks away. He's gonna stay alive. Another flash for Rio. Wants Nisqy. 100 health. And the Kaisa flash to the start. The Q comes out to get the kill picked off. And now Rio's got to run. He's got to run as fast as he can. Does not have his own flash. Gets ulted. One auto attack. Dies on the blade barrier. And C9 trades the kill back.
First blood does go over to Ryu. However, he's now down in experience and pressure mid lane. A fairly rare gank attempt bottom lane for Svenskeren does end up actually netting 100 Thieves first blood, but importantly, gives the power to Nisqy now that he's picked up that kill. Didn't burn flash, didn't burn teleport, and be able to take that advantage back into the lane. Watching this one more time, Svenskeren absolutely is caught away from where the pressure is. The bottom lane was shoved in. It's actually surprising that Zeyzal and Sneaky were able to make it into the river because Bang was unable to zone them off, but they buy kind of just enough time for Nisqy to make it over, force the flash from Ryu on that. Very close, actually, to getting the stun on Ryu before he'd be able to execute Sneaky, but Nisqy trying to hold on to his ult the whole time, realizes he needs it for the slow, ends up picking up the kill today.
Yep, and the back half of it gets damage both times around. That means we have a very close game yet again. First blood worth a little bit more money, but as you mentioned, mid lane has been empty lane for a little while, and so some of the CS was dropped by Ryu respawning, then TPing back to lane and going towards that early Zhonya's Hourglass, as you expect against physical damage jungler, physical damage mid laner. Standard Stormers are first coming through for Sneaky. So far, that's par for the course there as well, as the BF Sword comes in for Bang, as Essence Reaver does now build out of BF Sword.
Yeah, I'm pretty preferential to the Manamune Kaisa build, but I could definitely understand in a situation where Sneaky is expecting to get pushed in over and over again by Sivir and Lux that he would want to forego a later power spike and instead get a little bit more immediate power.
Yep. Meanwhile, speaking of immediate power, Kennen still getting stronger and stronger up there, has the beatings of a Gunblade, actually. So it's either AD Kennen, which is also possible with Ruin King going on from there, or it can just be full AP transition with Gunblade as the shields come in, damage towards Bang, not much damage taken to either side.
No flash on Aphromoo, and they know that.
Really smart. Oh, what a spell shield! Does not get stunned, does flash away because there was a chase down. One hit away from getting the stun off. That was beautiful spell shielding and a required flash.
Yeah, I mean, the reaction time on Bang to get that spell shield, super impressive. Also, very greedy by Svenskeren to go for the flash spell shield Sivir when there is a flashless spell shieldless Lux. Now that they've pushed up, here comes the return game.
Double knock up into the cage now as well. They're gonna knock down Sneaky the first part of it, and now it's Zeyzal taking a lot of damage here as well. The flash
Nice
amazing
flash.
with the red buff, a double kill, but here comes Nisqy. Gets the Qs across,
Oh,
finds
buddy.
the stun. He does all of the work, and a double kill for both junglers.
That was very close to being exactly what 100 Thieves needed to have this game. They really feel like they just need to stick around and keep the game close until the 15-minute mark, but Nisqy now getting fairly close to a snowball. Watching this one more time, the gank had just happened. C9 has the wave a little bit pushed up, so it's time. Or actually, whoops, this is a really far back replay. This is the reactive spell shield from Bang, unable to even get the Sejuani stun off. But as you can see, that expended so many cooldowns that then Amazing is able to come in. You would hope that they were picking up the early double kill, doesn't quite get it, has to expend the flash. Probably worth it, but at this point, since Nisqy had the lane shoved up, notice Ryu's still hitting minions in the mid lane. He makes the roam all the way bot lane and is able to assist Svenskeren on that double kill.
Really nice mechanics out of Nisqy. Has the mark on both champions, presses Q on both, lands the E, gets 2 marks again, dashes to both, and continues to play around that Q reset really nicely. And we have a close game yet again, 300 gold difference. Nice route, nice trade. Nisqy will pick up the farm down here. The 100 Thieves keeping the game close, exactly as you mentioned, what they need in this game. The Triforce coming in soon, though, for Nisqy. He's actually got plenty of money. 3,700, matched really only by the Kleptomancy free-farming Kennen up there. So some rich solos here on the C9 side.
Yeah, and once Licorice completes his first major item is when 100 Thieves is really going to have to worry a little bit, because they have 4 minutes left to take down turret plates, and really watch to see if Svenskeren starts gravitating towards that Rift Herald. C9 actually takes the first Rift Herald in 80% of their games. It's often best to take that before 14 minutes as well, so it can still help assist you with your turret plates.
320 gold, usually at least, sometimes 480, sometimes more if you get really lucky, but it is a nice gold objective in most cases, half a turret. Yeah. As Nisqy walks back in, the player is revealed by the Scryer's Bloom as Amazing goes back to his jungle. 3 camps up for the Jarvan. As the ward goes down, knows to be afraid of Cloudjack being taken, and knows it's not happening right now. They spot each other, level 7 for the junglers. A bit of a fight there, a bit of a slow. They'll be fine. Center hook down for both junglers as well, means they've got plenty of tank stats and plenty of clear speed, and Amazing goes right back into it.
Yeah, it's actually really interesting how Svenskeren is playing this early game. There's not much he can do up top lane against the Aatrox, because Licorice is able to so easily win that by himself. So necessarily focusing topside isn't necessary. So he's spending a lot of time just trying to keep the river bright for Zeyzal and Sneaky, so things don't go too wrong there.
There's a lot of the options that Amazing could have had to get around the map, and so far he's not been... Well, he's been doing a lot in the bottom lane, I should say. He's actually been getting that one happening, and it's been action-packed down there. As bot lane is within 5 CS again now, so Sneaky's been able to do just fine in catching up there. Essence Reaver component still pushing forward for Bang. We know that's now for sure the item he's getting, as the Storm Razor's closer and closer to completion here as well. Similar costs, and they'll power spike at pretty similar times.
I really love the Essence Reaver, i.e. Sivir build with lethal tempo. It just has such an incredible power spike because of all the attack speed granted by lethal tempo. So many NALCS AD carries, or rather LCS AD carries, have gravitated towards that this split.
Pretty smart stuff, as now the TV comes back into the mid lane. Nisqy's here once again. Triforce completed, so that is the first major power spike of the game completed. Gunblade also comes through for Licorice on the top side, so it is going to be the late AP transition. Just went for early attack damage stats for lane bullying. Now transitioning back over, and the Phreak will be attempted. The bot lane is actually already recalled, and in fact, Bang's headed top side, has teleport, but it seems like it's just going to be a trade of resources. 100 Thieves wanting to attack topside.
That's a lot of people.
TP on the flag, and Licorice is going to flash away, but is there a chase anymore? He's already gotten a lot of distance built up. Aphromoo with Mobies can eventually catch up for the Q. Flashes, and it's going to be a dodge for Licorice. Pushing forward, finds another slow, but he's going to get right away from it. And 100 Thieves going to lose more summoners on the play as C9 now attack this bottom lane.
Yeah, 100 Thieves absolutely trying to mix up the game, which I think is a very smart macro call. However, they missed the execution. You can't spend a teleport, a flash, and 4 people top lane and not get the kill on the top laner who's actually pushed up. But they will get the Rift Herald. If they can use this quickly in the top of the mid lane before the 14 minutes, they will likely end up still coming out gold positive on this play.
All right, now the bottom turret down just above 1,000 HP. Herald would one-shot the turret, though. If you summon it right away, you'd still steal first turret bonus away. But Sneaky just committing for the auto attacks.
It's going to take a really long time for Sneaky to kill that turret. If Amazing would have dropped the Rift Herald, they actually would have gotten it first, since when you stick around to take all of the turret plates in one go, the armor and MR consistently stacks up on that turret when there are multiple people there, which there were for the start of that turret push. But because Amazing actually opted not to use the Rift Herald, they lose out on that. I'm
I feel like
I
it's a mistake.
absolutely feel like that is a mistake by Amazing to not use the Rift Herald either mid or top lane in that situation, because the turret plates are gone and he's not going to get that gold.
Yeah, it's missing 320 gold from plates and 150 gold you would steal from first turret gold. I think there's actually no world in which saving Herald is correct here, so that's unfortunate there. And he was right there. He was in range. It was totally possible, but we won't harp on it much further. As the turret's plates have fallen, Sneaky getting solo first turret gold, Stormrazor plus the pickaxe already in. And that's actually a Manamuna component, so it might be the second item Manamuna coming in.
Yeah,
or it could easily be like Rageblade, whichever one builds.
Or like any of the million items that Kaisa is able to build.
Yeah, she has very versatile builds.
Yeah, so you can see 6 turret plates there from C9, 5 for 100 Thieves. The gold lead is looking actually decent for C9 with the first turret having gone down right now. And Nisqy able to play more aggressive now that he has that turning force.
So much damage, Ryu at 300, almost with the shield now. Staying alive, Guardian would have been there if needed, but they're going to walk away from that one. Mid lane dive almost successful. Game though, 2,500 gold up for Cloud9. This is a pretty meaningful, and in fact, I believe the average 100 Thieves stat was like 1,700 gold down?
Yeah,
so
it was negative 1,600 to 50 minutes, and this is the perfect time to do a check-in because actually the largest 100 Thieves comeback of the year at 50 minutes was when they were down 1,241 gold against C9. That was with Blabber playing in the jungle the last time they matched up, so this is a larger advantage for C9 this game, a fairly considerable, about 2.9 thousand gold advantage. And it was super close for a very long time, really, just until that Rift Herald play that came up negative for 100 Thieves.
Oh, this one is going to be another Cataclysm onto Licorice. Yep, exactly. Flashless Kennen. Trying to build some time with his lifesteal, his spell vamp, but it's not going to be enough. Amazing on his 4th kill now of the game, going towards the Knight's Vow. Tanky and very much willing to engage.
All right, where's the Rift Herald going now? Because it's still sitting in his inventory. C9 trying to get that mid turret in retaliation. Still have the cannon minion up, but
Demolished, they'll have it. Auto attack comes through. Turret has been slain. Now the damage, and they have just popped FakeGod, a stun right on the backline. They've caught bang the flash, but the resets are there. It's already 3 kills, and Amazing's over the wall. 100 Thieves getting absolutely slaughtered. The chase down now. Svenskeren forcing a flash for the opponent as well.
Love the decisiveness out of C9 in that situation. Yes, they are down a man on the map because Licorice is dead, but they are up a man in that particular fight. When Amazing comes behind them, they make the snap decision to all in a forward engage and make it shown that 100 Thieves probably shouldn't have been there.
Oh, beautiful engage though, it made it happen. Good stun, held it on until the next target they wanted to go for, and with money in the pockets, could be a reset. They've got a full minute till Cloud Drake spawns, and much more than that until the Baron Nashor comes up, so pretty safe time to reset if they can get back. And there is the Herald summoned as the timer was running out. We'll see if mid lane can be sieged at all.
Definitely one of those times where Amazing was trying to find the perfect moment for Rift Herald, then the game kind of got away from them. But they're still going to hope to get a charge out of it mid lane. C9 could opt to try a fight, but they are down most of their ultimates, so probably getting this charge.
They've also not spent their money since those fights. So even though the gold at the top is very heavily in C9's favor, the inventory is not so stark. You're seeing about 5,000 gold unspent compared to much less on the 100 Thieves side. And his Cloud Drake's in 20 seconds. There was not enough time to reset shop and get ward control.
Yeah, and you can see this fight one more time. Aphromoo does his best to clear the wave, so they know the Lux ult is down. FakeGod pops his ultimate, but doesn't have any chance of getting the reset to proc the revive that's still there on patch 9.13. After he's down, they layer the Sej and the Irelia ultimates beautifully, and Amazing's like, guys, I'm flanking, but they are all gone.
Yeah, I mean, theoretically it was a 5v4. I understand the idea of staying because Licorice was dead, but it was still a better play on the C9 side. Beautifully done there. 100 Thieves indeed have ward control. As C9 resets come in, it's mostly a dark map. They can try, but a nice bind's going to keep Svenskeren out of range. Oh, that was close. The spike came through from Amazing early. Svenskeren didn't hit the button in time. It does go over to the 100 Thieves side. Cloud Drake split as the little scuttle goes over, and Licorice going to pick up the top turret.
Yeah, map pressure now in C9's favor because they basically sacrificed the Cloud Drake for that. When you were mentioning that C9 hadn't spent any of their gold, they'd immediately all recalled and Drake was going to be up in 20 seconds. So 100 Thieves stuck around on the map, got the vision down, started that Cloud Drake up. Were barely able to take it, but in the meantime, C9 all reset, got the Kennen top lane, and kind of extended their gold lead, but it did cost them the Cloud Drake.
So trade out of turret for Cloud Drake, I would say, is a reasonably close trade overall, and 5,000 gold is what separates these teams, which is super massive at this point, and it's going to be a tough call for NFTs to climb back out of that one. It's already a bigger lead than their biggest comeback so far. Nice root, dodge the stun, back out he goes. Ryu, safe to split push.
Yeah, I do have some other comeback breakpoints because I thought it could be interesting
Yeah.
for 100 Thieves this game. This split, their biggest comeback at 20 minutes was versus Optic. That was 2.8K, so this is looking to be much larger than that. But their biggest comeback overall was around 6K versus Echo Fox at 25 minutes. So with how savvy 100 Thieves can be, it's not completely out of the realm of possibility that they come back. It's just a very large advantage of C9, and C9 are not exactly slouches when it comes to pulling the trigger and getting team fights off with this team comp. So I'm expecting C9 to find fights and maybe get a win pretty early.
So far they've been very smart. Svenskeren especially great at finding engages, and he's been doing that again this game as items continue to go through. Warmog's coming soon in for this Sejuani as well. 2 out of Spike, hit for Sneaky, not yet there for Bang though, has a lot of money to go actually, almost 2,000 until he can finish Infinity Edge.
Yeah, there's a nice ward by 100 Thieves right in that red buff area that let them know that C9 was going to be waiting in the unwarded areas. So good pockets of vision as far as holding this one off. I do want to talk about Sejuani as well, because on patch 9.13, the health per level of Sejuani
FakeGod
was nerfed, but FakeGod might just die to this.
He got a big heal off. He got the passive, he's running. He's got a Kaisa nearby, dodge away from Sneaky, gets a knockup.
Oh.
He might win it! Oh, look at the stopwatch, but there's Kaisa. Sneaky finally shows up, and that's just no fair. The 1v1 could have been won. This time around, 2v1, and C9 takes it.
Also, I've got to need to go back in time and think, how did Sneaky get there? At first, I thought maybe he TP'd in because he actually ulted in from over the other wall.
He's roaming.
He's just roaming down bot lane to help Licorice with that one.
Yep.
So Sejuani.
So Sejuani.
Yeah. Previously, at level 12, you would have the Warmog's health to get the healing. Now that has been pushed to level 13, so see how long it takes for Svenskeren at level 13. That's literally the whole point. I don't know why I spent so long on it.
That's okay.
Watching this fight one more time, it starts off incredibly well for Licorice. FakeGod does get the move speed from his ultimate fairly early, though. Lands multiple Q knockups, and Licorice smartly, with the stopwatch and the stun, buys the time for Sneaky to be able to ult over the wall and get the kill.
It was funny, Sneaky actually screwed up the blast cone, so he actually really needed the final stun to come out right before the stopwatch came out. But yeah, so Kaisa wanted to roam, sees their opportunity, and it worked really well.
Yeah, so basically all the Sejuani nerf did as well as makes you buy a health crystal if you have the gold for it, because otherwise people were rushing stone plate right after and getting both bonuses. It makes a difference.
Yep, had to buy Ruby Crystal, but now 3,062 health. He's in there level 11 because of the added pickup.
Got it.
Yep. Knight's Vow might come through. We'll see. Could be stone plate as well, but we'll see what comes through afterwards. Actually, the amazing pickup only on the Kindle Gem. Not actually going Knight's Vow himself, just going in a stone plate, but wanted some CDR in the build. That one threw me off. But still looking around for the next piece. Yeah. I saw the components. My brain was like, those go together. Nope, just for the stats. Pretty common. A lot of people do pick up Kindle Gems or Phoenix Codexes to sit there for a while. It's now time for C9 to look around the Baron buff as Svenskeren sweeps away. This is going to be all Fog of War now on the Hennessy side, and Lux is having to kind of light check all these brushes one at a time with the E, and hoping they can find some way safely into Baron control.
Yeah, you're kind of wondering how is 100 Thieves going to find a fight. They're trying with the Sivir and Aatrox ultimate right now to get Nisqy.
They're going to try for him right there. Vanquish will flash away. Not going to be hit by this in 20 minutes. Big stun coming across. Means the Reason and Aphromoo's days are numbered. Svenskeren finds that first kill. Kennen over the top finds 2 more stuns. In comes Ryu trying to build some space, but Zeyzal has the second kill already. Amazing's going to drop for the third. It's 4 kills, and only Bang is left alive. The rest of the squad, though, already dead. And you thought you caught Nisqy, but instead it's 4-1.
Nisqy with a huge outplay. It is so difficult to gank an Irelia when you're running up there with these slow traveling skill shots that Lux is able to throw. Unless Ryu is able to open with hard CC, that has a high probability of happening with how good Nisqy is. So they wipe 100 Thieves, get 4 kills, and turn their heads on Baron.
Merc Threads and Stairs just in case need more tenacity. Baron's going to be a formality here. 23-minute Baron pickup. Cloud9 absurdly ahead now in this game.
Beautiful play. Watch this one more time. Notice Ryu isn't there. I really think Ryu has to be here if they're going to gank the Irelia because FakeGod can't land Q1. Nisqy dashes one way, can easily go back to that next minion. Look at the range he gets on this stun as well. Boom, gets a double stun. Doesn't get hit really by any CCs. That buys the time for the rest of C9 to just pile in. It is too late for you to have any meaningful impact on the Lissandra, and C9 just continues the turret dive to pick up her.
Ryu stays for the 1 Q to make sure you can pick the kill off. That was well timed at least, but just the slimmest of glimmers of hope there is 100 Thieves lose so much now, and this game is 9,500 gold lead. It's going to be rough. 100 Thieves find some kind of miracle here in this one. They're going to look forward to amazing. Level 11 on the tank front line. He's going to jump right back away, a single hit away from being stunned. Not quite found, though. And they'll wait for the next opportunity.
Yeah, C9 just making sure to prep the side lanes. They may not even bother taking the Ocean Drake at this point, even though if this push does eventually stall, they will just take that on the way out. Not prepping the top lane in a 1-3-1, I think because Ryu's Lissandra still does hold a lot of engaged threats, so if you do split yourself up to 3, 100 Thieves would win a 5v3, but I believe C9 has enough confidence in their abilities to win a 4v5 that they just get the map pressure out of it, and I like this play from C9.
So far it's working pretty well. 6 turrets already gone. It's just the inhibitor line to be cracked right now with about 2 minutes left of the Baron buff as they throw wards over the wall, but the defensive control ward's already there. You want to point out that control ward in between the turrets is really good to keep Fog of War on your side of the map. As 100 Thieves now have to wave clear in the mid lane, but this turret's so incredibly low. A partial engage, Svenskeren is going to learn this is Aftershock. Going to knock on the turret. There's the engage from Braum, but it's only to build some space. The turret falls, and they wait for Sejuani to heal back up with Warmogs.
Yeah, they did get the ultimate out of FakeGod as well, so I think if you're trying to value the Braum versus the Aatrox ultimate, that's positive for C9. Also, Aphromoo ulted something for some reason.
Tried to steal red.
Okay, there we go, you're right. And they're going to continue this push.
They are going to continue right away as now the whole team is back to full HP. Baron's still on for 70 seconds, and Mid Inhibitor is under fire. So it's going over the wall, looking for the stun. He's going to find it on the front line towards FakeGod. They can go, but a big backline engage comes across. Do they kill the carry? Zeyzal's quite low, sneaking to hit as well, but no. What's a 1-for-1 so far? Into the backline though is Svenskeren, finding another stun. Nisqy in there for FakeGod. He'll get that kill almost assuredly. 2 more auto attacks, 1 more to go. The ult just to make sure it happens, and a rampage for the Irelia. 4 alive to only 3 on 100 Thieves, as the kills are still going through the C9 side.
Yeah, notice how there was no Aatrox ultimate to reset after they started that fight, and that's what allowed Nisqy to come in. It was the all-in engage from 100 Thieves. Because of the gold deficit, it did buy enough time for C9 to come in, as we just talked about, and they break open the base. Didn't get a full wipe, so probably don't end the game immediately.
They're going to push through to the top side right now. You still got a couple seconds on Amazing and 20 on FakeGod. If the turret takes some damage, Aftershock now off for Aphromoo, and Demolish not quite able to trigger onto the turret, so they're going to walk away. But they've got time to reset. This is the last 10 seconds of Baron, so just take the empowered recall, get back on the map, spend your gold, and now with an 11,000 gold lead, just close it out.
Yeah, so really just business as usual for C9 here, since even though we had some pretty big comebacks in LCS last week, where C9 at one point was down 7,500 gold to TSM, we didn't see many of those 11K gold comebacks, especially when you have that 407 Irelia, who is 100 gold away from a max bounty. Sneaky actually at the max bounty right now, so that just kind of goes to show what a streak C9 is on as far as accumulating advantages against 100 Thieves.
If a team fight goes well, you close the gap a little bit, but 100 Thieves going to have a really hard time making that happen here, as there's no Drake alive for the taking. If you want it, you might as well cross the T, dot the I, add the region just in case you need it. 2.5 items for Bang, but, well, with a QSS now win, it's practically 4 for Sneaky. He's going to be able to dodge Lissandra targeted stun just in case it got that bad.
Yep.
But there's just so much damage going at this entire lineup.
Yeah. And for what it's worth, if you would have to pick a weakness in C9's games, I think it actually has been around winning decisively and cleanly. Part of that comes from the fact that they often pick for very lane-dominant solos without necessarily trying to craft a great game-ending team composition or team-fighting composition, so they're trying to kind of often put together the pieces towards the end of the game. This game has looked quite clean, and if they can get really one more pick, they'll win the game. Good
flash by After. The R flash Nisqy almost lands, but now Amazing could be shot. They're going to find the stun. They're going to find a lot of damage, and Amy's going to flash to safety, though. They pull Nisqy a bit too close to the turret. Going to back off for now as the whole squad comes up topside. Trading a couple of flashes, but getting away.
Good effort, knowing that they pretty much just had to get that 1 or 2 kills to get the second and third inhibitor, but Aphromoo able to dodge out. And with no Baron, the Sivir very effective at clearing waves.
Definitely is. Middle inhibitor, probably the least impactful in terms of keeping your opponents inside their base. It's very easy to get to, and as you've been talking about, Sivir, one of the best wave clear champions, absolutely great at 2.5 items, and pretty close to getting rapid fire cannon done. Needs about 400 more gold to complete that one. Looking at a brush camp, though. We know Baron is alive in 30 seconds, so soon 100 Thieves must venture out of their safety. Only 1 control ward for Vision, and one deep invisible one back inside, just past the red buff. But mostly Fog of War down here as top lane to be cleared once again.
Yeah, there's a point that I want to make about Lux support, if I have the time. And it's because you noticed how Aphromoo was able to check that rush in a safe way, right? He puts the E in, it grants vision. Now they know they can move in and get that control work. I think previously, one of the big reasons you'd only see melee supports is because those were the only supports that could actually contest vision. Lux is one of the few range supports who can safely contest vision without dying, so it enables people to utilize the strong laning phase before going late. But it doesn't mean they can actually walk through C9 as they smartly two-man this Baron while zoning out 100 Thieves.
And any stun puts Sneaky back over the wall as well. So a pretty clean Baron pick up their second in under 30 minutes. There's not a lot of ways you can get that to happen, but they've been so much in control, it does go through this time around. Ryu just sat there in bot lane, pushing the entire time, getting stuck to farm, getting some XP, hoping to get level 16, but he's not quite there. He's only about a third of the way to that level. As now the push comes in towards the top side. Bang takes some damage. The wave clear going to be tried again. This time around, though, the minions resist a lot more damage from champions thanks to the Baron buff.
Yeah, but Licorice is going to be able to threaten 100 Thieves from the flank right here. Ryu can't take Licorice one-on-one, not even close, so he's going to be pushing slowly towards, and we might see C9 dive.
Here comes the attempt to dive, and towards Svenskeren pulled right back into the pit, and they're going to find some damage, but Amazing so dangerously low, and now Licorice on the backside. His one for zero, making a second and a third pretty soon. FakeGod running out of health, finds a little bit of healing, but he's running for dear life. Just barely stays alive. 5v3 though is enough. Baron buff is on. Minion waves reinforced. These turrets could take a lot of damage, but first it's going to be Bang able to wave clear. Oh, it's going to be recalls. It's Nisqy wanted to reset and TP back in. C9 wanted to refill their health bars first. Top lane could be easy to kill. They walk back over there. That'll be picked up now as well. Second inhib should be an obvious one.
Yeah, still 15 seconds until Amazing is up. 25 seconds for you. I think C9 should look to end. They're going to have this Baron minion coming through. They're going to have supers from the mid lane crashing in about 10 seconds. It'll be a little bit tight, but they'd like to try and end here.
They got 5 seconds till Amazing is on. 5v3, they find the dive on the front side. One kill picked up already now. Aphromoo trying to run away, just barely getting away from that one. But low health bar still only 3v5. Ryu up in 6 seconds. One turret left, but the minions actually count down to 0, so they got to get the mid inhibitor yet again.
Yeah, super minions actually don't come up the mid lane because the inhibitor was set to respawn, but they do have now a 5v4 with only one turret.
Round number 4, dive on the backside. The turret's going down. Svenskeren stays safe to get that kill, but they get one traded back. 3v4 now for the dive, but they can also knock down the Nexus, and they will do so. Kills be damned. C9 take the win.
Yeah, that is a solid win for C9, moving them to 9-4 on the split, solidifying their spot in second place so far, and really kind of halting 100 Thieves' surge a little bit, making 100 Thieves now 5-3 in their last event.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Well, 6-0-10 game for Nisqy. He's really never missed a beat. I remember one of the things Cloud9 talked about with him at the beginning of the year was getting him to be more of a carry player, a bit more selfish, put more on his back. And I feel like he's been really doing that so far in the summer split, has been an absolute standout player. Licorice's return has been triumphant. End of the game, over 60 CS up. Completely bodied the top lane, did so much work up there. And Free of Svenskeren has spent a lot more effort down to the bottom side, which neutralized Amazing pretty well.
Exactly. I like the adaptation that C9 made to their normal game plan in-game. Because I think draft-wise, they picked almost exactly how we would expect them to, but because of the amount of time that Svenskeren spent bottom lane trying to make it so Amazing, couldn't get anything going. Really highlighted by the moment when Nisqy showed up bottom lane to allow Svenskeren to pick up that bottom kill in an early dive. Made it so 100 Thieves never quite got that advantage, and then pretty much as turret plates were falling, C9 jumped ahead and never looked back.
Never looked back. Good win, clean work, and welcome back, Licorice. Now for more on that Cloud9 victory, let's hear from the State Farm Analyst Desk.
Thank you very much, Phreak. Welcome back, Licorice. Welcome back, Jatt. The both of them coming back to the LCS
Who had a
today.
better performance?
That's a good question. That's a good question. For Licorice, you did get the victory. I think Jatt's a winner no matter what, though, as a caster on the game itself. But while they did pick up this victory, I think it's safe to say that the game wasn't about Licorice by any means.
0% jungle proximity in the top lane for both top laners. So yeah, the top laners were left to their own devices, and that makes sense. You got Kennen into Aatrox. The casters talked about it. It's just what you do. You actually benefit Licorice by not going to his lane.
Yeah, and a lot more was around the bot side. That's where the jungler spent, the first 12-ish minutes of the game, and it was back and forth. I mean, both guys had good looks at each other. Sven almost got caught invading, barely gets out, but it's a 1-for-1. Next time he goes bot lane, he tries to time the smite with the spell shield, but his smite was a fraction of a second too early, so the spell shield blocks the stun.
Also, Aphro did get to see the brush right before he revealed with his E, so I think that's what gave Bang the heads up of, hey, you need to be really careful. There's a giant
finger on the trigger there
in the brush.
Yep, and just a great timing window by Amazing to find them here. Nice double knockup as well, but Nisqy is so proactive in the early game on the Irelia, able to find his way down here. Such a clean flash, alt, double Q to set up a double stun to get 2 more Qs.
Weirdly doesn't get either kill. Both junglers picked up the double kill in that exchange, but again, on a day where we prefaced junglers being a focus, both of them showed up in a big way here in the early game. It's following this play where I think we see something very intriguing around how the game ultimately fell apart for 100 Thieves. Some really intelligent macro plays where execution or greed comes in to bite them.
Yeah, they make a lane swap with a gank, so the AD carry will teleport up here, start shoving the wave, and then the support's already here, so it catches Cloud9 by surprise. As you can see on the minimap, they're just saying, all right, we need to be pushing down the turret, and they secure the Rift Herald, but they don't use it, and at this point, it's about 13 minutes in, and by not using it, you actually don't take the first brick.
Yeah, and it has this knock-on effect where they flashed for that kill, they didn't get it, as opposed to just focusing down the turret. Now the turret's still up, and they're coming from mid lane. You see the ulted Sivir and Lux coming in to finally get the kill on Kennen. Top turret's still up, and now they have to take a really bad path back to mid lane. Lux and Sivir are super good for keeping lane priority where you make side lane plays. Here, they have to go all the way around. There's already minions. You see the ult coming in to try and clear it. It's not enough, and now the turret's dropping, and you're going to get dove.
I mean, it could have just been you give up one turret, you accept the mistake, and you walk away thinking, that was it. We won't do it again. But the fact that FakeGod commits loses so much momentum. They lose 2 turrets out of that, 3 kills. Amazing has to burn his flash. They haven't even gotten the top tower at that point, so it was
cascading effect.
Catastrophic.
And it all goes back to, again, really intelligent look for the lane swap and the initiation onto the Kennen in the first bit of that replay. As soon as that flash is blown, go straight to the Rift Herald. Take that Rift Herald, go straight to the top turret. They would have actually hit first turret and had the faster back and reset onto the map in front of Cloud9. And then, because of all of those things, you have to go back to the top of the map, get that turret down, and you're late to the mid lane.
It's one of those things that's really hard to, play perfect macro, but that's one where you see the dive happen, and if you look at the chain of events that set it up, it was, precipitated with probably that Rift Herald play where they never quite used it correctly.
I'll speculate as to why the Rift Herald wasn't used, because the tower was lower than the HP that the charge would have done, so you want to get more value, and maybe you save it for the mid lane tower instead, so you take 2 towers instead of going for the gold. So they're looking for map pressure as opposed to gold, and I think that might be the wrong way to approach it. I really like using Rift Herald for gold almost exclusively. Just get as much of it out there.
You can at least track the logic there, though, if that is what happened. Of course, doesn't excuse it. I think at the end of the day, right, what is comforting in all of that is that 100 Thieves had the right idea in all of that.
Well, and there's not that many teams in the league who would probably punish that quite as hard. Oh, our top laner died. Let's go brute force mid really hard. I mean, that speaks to C9's strength as a team, is they're so aggressive when they see an opening.
Without a doubt. Licorice back in the lineup. Cloud9 picks up a solid win. For more on that victory, Avali is standing by for an interview with C9's jungler.
Thanks, guys. Svenskeren, congratulations on the win. That was a pretty good Sejuani game coming out of you. Dropped the 1 death at the end, but why do you think you popped off so hard today?
Yeah, so they left open the Sejuani and Irelia combo, which I believe is the strongest 2v2 in the game. So I think me and Nisqy were just able to get a lot of move timings. We can win any fight we take. So I think that just contributes to why my Sejuani was strong, I guess.
And this is also the first game that we saw Licorice back in the top lane for Cloud9, and it looks like you kind of just left him alone up there. So what was it like having him back?
I mean, we just looked at how 100 Thieves plays the game, and they're not really going to win by winning top. So we just saw, okay, they're going to try to control bot, and if we just match them on bot side, we should be able to just win the game.
Do you feel confident having Licorice, maybe even if it wasn't just against 100 Thieves, just kind of leaving him alone up there, that he can kind of handle the lane on his own?
Yeah, I trust Eric to not die to ganks, for sure.
Well, recently the MVP candidate conversations have been starting along with the analyst desk's jungle tier list. And just a quick question, where do you think they placed you?
Hopefully top 3.
Top 3, you were top 1 and 2. I think there was you and Smithy on Crumbs' list. I'm looking over to him. Crumbs. Yes! Crumbs' list, on Crumbs' list. But yeah, what do you think about being top 3 in jungle or even being top at that jungle list?
I mean, I don't really think I changed my playstyle too much from last split. I think last split I was playing pretty well too, but I guess right now us as a team we're playing pretty well in my compared to my jungle. Like it fits pretty well how we're playing right now. And I mean, in terms of NA junglers, I think there's not too many good ones. It's like me, Acadian, and Xmitty kind of, which I feel like is the hardest ones going up against. So I don't know. To me, it's not like that big of a deal.
If you haven't really changed, why do you think these results are showing up now?
I'm not sure if the region got weaker or us as a team got stronger. I feel like my synergy with Nisqy as well has just developed a lot more compared to last split, where we kind of played well as a duo, but there was just some things we didn't know how to do yet. But I think right now, me and Nisqy are pretty well on the same page, and yeah, we just know how to pressure the game a lot together.
So it sounds like you and Nisqy are basically working really hard to try to carry Cloud9. Who's really taking the leadership role for the team?
I think we shared a lot. Like, I think Sneaky contributes a lot in terms of leadership, because if the game starts going pretty bad, he like drags us all together and like, okay guys, this game is still winnable as long as we don't lose our mind. Like, a lot of times you kind of need some guy on the team to like stay calm, and like, even though the game is looking rough or like we're winning, but we are skipping a lot of steps, like our Baron controller stuff, like we might go too fast and we forget to clear some wards. Stuff like that is pretty important. Like, me and Nisqy, Zeyzal, whatever, we might go too fast, but then Sneaky like, okay guys, we need to do this correct. So yeah.
All right, so you played 100 Thieves today, and tomorrow you have a little bit of a tougher opponent in CLG. How do you see that game going?
I think regardless of who plays, me or Blabber, we're gonna smash them.
Awesome. I like the confidence, but thank you and congratulations again on the win. And for everyone else for stepping away. But when we return, it's Golden Guardians looking to take down TSM. See who comes